Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Yen, and I thought today I should share my March/April reading wrap-up video with you guys because I didn't read a lot in March to do a separate video, and you know, I thought maybe someone would want to hear some recommendations and maybe I can convince some of you to read some of these books. So today I have 6 books to talk about, and let's just go ahead and get started. In March, I only read 2 books, which is very little. Typically, I try to do 4 books a month, and I'm not a really fast reader. Let's just start off with the first book that I read in March. It is a book that I feel like you guys think is a Valentine's Day book, but I knew Valentine's Day was over. I still wanted to really get this book out of my TBR because I hear a lot of things about it, and it was just like very close to Valentine's Day, so I thought, why not read it this year? That book is Funny You Should Ask by Elisa Sussman, and you guys, this cover got me. Initially, I held off on buying this book just because so many people were talking about this book and how they thought it was okay. This book is basically about, you guys, I totally forgot. The male character's name is Gabe Parker, and Shawnee is the female. She is basically a reporter, and she has a crush on this actor, which is Gabe Parker, and something happened to them when she interviewed him, I think 10 years ago, and now she has to interview him again, basically about going through the past and the present and seeing what happened to them during that time. This is just from her perspective, and I wish they had the dual point of view because I do like that. There were articles written throughout this book, and it was just a little bit confusing to me. Honestly, this book wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, just because I feel like maybe people were talking down on it, so I didn't really have high hopes for it. But I actually did enjoy this book, and it's not as bad, so I would still recommend for you guys to read this book. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. This book was a little bit of a slow burn, and I gave this like a 2 out of 5 for spice, and I'm very happy that I've read it, and I'm honestly glad that I have it in my collection. Moving on to the second book that I read in March, and you guys, I love this author. So this is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. It is another Valentine's Day kind of book. I love Lynn Painter's writing, and I'm so excited to read like all of her books. They're just so easy to read and fast to get through. This book is basically about Liz and Wes, and they're like next door neighbors. They don't like each other, and Liz is trying to find a prom date. She wants her crush from, like her childhood crush, Michael, to go to prom with her, but she needs help because Michael doesn't really see her, I think, and Wes is like friends with Michael, so she needs Wes's help to basically convince Michael to go with her. And so I just honestly loved this book, and I read it pretty fast. I totally get all of the hype about this book. It is really good, so I definitely would recommend. I gave this a 5 out of 5 because I thought this was so cute, and it's just an easy read. It's nothing like too much for you to think about, and I just thought this cover was so cute. So moving on to the books that I read in April, I actually got 4 books done, and I'm pretty proud of myself because that's what I usually try to do. I picked up The American Roommate Experiment by Elena Armas, and this is the second book that I've read by her. The first one is The Spanish Love Deception, and that is like 5 out of 5. That is a book that I still think about, and so I had high hopes for this book as well, and this was pretty entertaining. I don't think it's as good as the first one, but this is basically about Catalina's, she's the main character in the other one. This is about her cousin, and his name is Lucas. Rosie is Catalina's best friend. Basically, Rosie goes to stay at Catalina's apartment while she's gone. She didn't know that space would be taken up by her cousin Lucas, and so they bump into each other, and he basically lets her stay there. I don't know, I just really liked the relationship between the two of them, and I loved the banter in this book. It was funny because I got my husband to read this book to me, so he was also reading this book as well, and I just really like this author. I want to read more books by her. I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5, so it was, you know, up there for me as well. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I just really like Lucas. I thought he was so sweet and thoughtful. The only thing is I feel like there's a little bit of a miscommunication kind of thing in here. It just didn't hit the same as the Spanish Love Deception, so that's why I gave it a 4.5 out of 5, but I still would recommend this because I did enjoy it. This one is a little bit thick. This is like close to it's like over 300 pages, closer to 400. The Spanish Love Deception, I felt like that was like a slow burn. This one for me didn't feel as much of a slow burn, and it just hooked me from the banter. So I really like that, and I thought this was very enjoyable. Moving on to the second book that I read in April, and you guys are going to hear me talk about this series for a long time because I think I found my new favorite book. And that would be Mile High by Liz Tomforde. This was honestly amazing, and I don't even know where to start. You guys definitely have to read this book, or just the entire series, because I literally ate this book up. I could not put it down, and I was so hooked. And this book is pretty thick, you guys, 450 pages or something like that, but it was so good, and it didn't feel that long. I loved everything about this book, and the cover is so beautiful. I heard a lot of people talking about this book, and it was like blowing up for me, so I was like, okay, I love sports romance books. The cover just got me, and people are saying like it's a 5 out of 5. So when I read this was definitely a 5 out of 5 for me. I loved it so much. So this book is basically about Xanders and Stevie. Xanders is a famous like hockey player, and Stevie is a flight attendant. She is going to be a flight attendant for his hockey team, and so they're like constantly traveling together, and they just, you know, connect. And the spice and everything about this book is phenomenal. I loved it so much, and honestly I want to reread this. Also, the playlist of this book is like amazing, so you definitely need to listen to it while reading because it connects so well. I read this in like a few days, so I think if you are a fast reader you can read this in like a day, but I love this so much and I can't talk about it enough. So definitely try and read this book if there's like a book that I would recommend. After I read that book, I automatically had to order the second book, and that is called The Right Move. And you guys, this cover is beautiful. I just love the cover of this book, so cute. And again, this is the second book to this I don't know the series name, but honestly I can't decide which one is my favorite because I love both of them a lot. I think a lot of people were saying this one is better, and for me I think I might have to pick this one too, just because of like the ending, but both of them are really amazing books. And so this one is also a basketball sports romance, so that's why I liked it, because I like watching basketball, whereas I can't really relate to hockey. But nonetheless, these books got me into like reading more sports romance. So if you guys have a really good one, let me know down below. So this book is basically about Ryan. He is the top point guard for NBA, and Indy is another flight attendant. She is friends with Stevie, and Ryan is Stevie's brother. So this book is about the two of them and how, you know, like, I don't want to say, I think it will tell you in the back, but I don't want to say how they met or anything like that. It's just that I really thought Ryan was so sweet. He is like the perfect man, and I gave this book a 5 out of 5. Again, I can't stop talking about this book. I think Ryan is my new book boyfriend, to be honest, you guys. Also, I really like that they do still talk about these two characters in the first book, so I just like to get a little bit of an update. So if you guys have like a new book that you need to read, I would definitely recommend these two books. And I think she's coming out with the third book in October, so I'm very excited to see which character she's going to write that book about. I think there will be 5 books in total. I'm not sure, but if she does have 5 books, I would honestly die, because these two books are so amazing, and you guys have to read it. So I think I've talked about these books enough, but I read both of these so fast. And then the last book that I have here for April is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, and I actually did try to tab this book up a little bit. So this one is the first book in the Dreamland Billionaires series. So this one is about Rowan and Zara. This book is basically like about Disneyland or Disney World, but it takes place in England, and one of the brothers' name is Rowan. I think he is the youngest brother, and he is trying to be the CFO, but his grandfather passed and left a will, so he needs to try to do something, and Zara works at his company basically. So it's very interesting to see the workplace romance, and honestly I love that trope as well. But I am trying to do a reading vlog for this book. I honestly don't know what I would rate this book yet, because I literally just finished this today. I think I would give this a 3.5 to 4 out of 5 stars right now. So just go ahead and watch my vlog when I upload it. It won't be until a while though. That's all I have to say about this one, and I am going to read the rest of the books, so I'm very excited. But this has been sitting in my TBR pile for a while, so let me know what you guys think if you've read it already. But these were all of the books that I've read, and I'm so happy with a majority of them. I'm not really a harsh critic, so let me know if there's like a book in here that you don't like. But thank you so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate you guys being here. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you guys want to see more book videos and just, you know, content. That's all I have for today, so thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.